Hi there, and welcome back to another episode of jPlay. I'm Marcus, and today I will try a solo playthrough of Zombie 15. This game can be pretty challenging time-wise, even with 2 players, so I don't know how well I will perform here. Not that I was particularly good in my previous playthroughs. And that's why I will only play through the first 2 prologue missions, so there will be no special abilities of our teenagers, and the zombie horde will be relatively small. At least this is what I hope. Zombie 15 reminded me a little bit of the smaller brother of Zombicide without any dice and a limited amount of time, basically 15 minutes. In the normal multiplayer environment, the passive player will be responsible to draw any new zombie cards or place the zombies and such, and guess who has to do that in my little solo experience here. So I decided to do the 3-player game where each character has 5 actions instead of the normal 4. But I really hope the stress level is a little bit lower than with playing with all the 4 hero teenagers. As I'm playing with the prologue side of each of the character, it doesn't really matter which characters I choose. So they're all alike from a game mechanic point of view, at least at this point in time. As soon as you start scenario 3 of the campaign book, you will flip the heroes to their normal side, and then they will allow you for some special abilities. Severity here, for example, has a hell of a lot of health points here, but she cannot be healed with a first aid kit and stuff like that. This is the setup for the very first scenario, and this is called The End of Innocence, Part 1. Other than you, no youngster in the neighborhood has survived. All the others have turned or been ripped to pieces. You're locked up in your house, occasionally distracted by your grandmother scratching at the living room door. Your father is lying on the kitchen floor, the cleaver with which you felt him still embedded in his skull. The clatter of zombies reaches your ears from outside. They do not seem to have spotted you. They roam around in search of food, which is one thing you have in common. You're hungry, and your cupboards are bare. Your only solution is to get out there and find something to eat. Before doing so, you need to find weapons to defend yourself with. So, you head up for the police station. And who knows, you may even encounter other survivors. So, let's look at the victory condition. The victory condition here says all heroes are on the police station tile 14A, which is somewhere down there. And the defeat conditions, they are more or less always the same. All heroes are unconscious or the soundtrack ends before the victory conditions have been met. Simple as that. There are some special rules to this first prologue mission. For once, it tells you that the game ends when all the heroes are on the police station tile at the same time. A hero may leave the police station whenever he wants. Has to be mentioned that you have to finish the game before the soundtrack runs out. The hero sheets, this is also something I already explained to you. You play with the prologue side of the hero sheets. Additionally, there are some additional setup instructions that you see here. For once, you play with a soundtrack number 1. There are no growls, so there will be no zombies coming out. You don't play with a zombie dropper. This is normally the case when you hear the growl. You don't have any horde in this first scenario here, so there are no zombies in the horde box. The search drop pile is, let's say, set up a little bit differently. So for once, there are only silent weapons, so you see that here, and there are only zombie cards that show the number 1. For this scenario, there are 4 special item cards pre-prepared. So we have the banjo, the crowbar, and the tonfa. I will give them a shuffle and will deal 1 item to each of the survivors here. So severity starts with a tonfa, Trevor takes the shovel, and Snow will start the game with a banjo. Isn't that nice? Let me quickly try to explain you how this game actually works. So there are 5 actions you can take. As I'm playing with 3 heroes, what you see here, normally you're only allowed to have 4 actions for each of the heroes when you play with all 4 of them. One possible action could be to move to either an adjacent tile, so from here to here for example, or from in or out from a search area, this yellow one here, out or in to the search area. You can only move out of an area when there are no zombies with you, so you cannot just escape from them, you have to fight them first. Then the next action could be to search. If you are in a search area, so there's a quick search and there's a thorough search, a quick search which you allow to draw 3 of these cards, and you can take whatever you want and the rest goes back to the discard pile. If you find any zombies in this card, then you have to place them on your space as well. The thorough search would allow you to go through the discard pile and take more or less the card that you are seeing on the discard pile. But you have to be aware, if you don't want to pick up the top card, for example, on the discard pile, then you have to discard it in order to go to the next card. So if this is really something where you have to be definitely careful to do that. The next action also would be to use an item, so for example like your shovel here or banjo. This is more or less a fighting action in this case as well. Of course you can only fight if there are zombies in your space here, so you would just use one of these items, and these items show some values here. The top value here, for example, not sure, can you see it? Is the amount of zombies this shovel is about to kill when you use it. So there are no dice involved in this game here. This icon shows you how well this shovel can help you to fend off zombies. This is something that's a zombie turn after the players have taken their turn, and this item icon shows how noisy this item is. Right now we are only playing with basically silent equipment, so there will be no zombies drawn into the horde box here. This is something that we might need for the second scenario. And anytime you use an item, you will move its counter here. When it's here on this one, then you can no longer use it to attack zombies, but it still can help you to fend off zombies. So don't throw them away too soon. And it's also has to be mentioned, once you discard one of these items here, or also light objects in the late one, they are discarded and removed from the game. There is only one exception for that. For once heavy objects, we won't see any heavy objects here. Maybe at least survivor could also be a heavy object, but I don't hope to see any unconscious survivors in this playthrough. And so these items will be completely removed from the game, and it doesn't really matter. Normally there are plenty of cards available in the deck. Of course, in this first mission not so many, but you don't need them too much. So there will be not too much additional zombies showing up on the board here. When you find some items, then you can just decide where to put them. On this slot here, for example, here it's one yellow for a two-handed object and green for a normal single-handed object. Then you have to decide on which spots you have to place it. If you want to basically put an item on top of this, then you have to discard it. But normally when things are getting, let's say, very speedy, then you normally would not just discard it, you just put the new item on top of it. And new items always start at the maximum capacity or ammunition or whatever these items are. So on the other side you see a little bullet symbol here, and on the normal let's say not so noisy items you see this broken axe. In order to recap our scenario missions here, so we have here our survivors. They are currently in their houses basically, and they know they want to get here to the tile where the police station is. So they don't have to enter the building, you just have to get here, and you have to meet all the other survivors here. And as I also explained, right now they are in a search area, but they do have zombies with them, so they cannot search. This is also not allowed when zombies are next to you, and they cannot move out of this search area. So the first thing that all of the survivors have to do is to fight these zombies here. And then we are ready to start. I will start the soundtrack. Hopefully you will hear it well. I have to start it here. And then we have 15 minutes. So really please apologize if I do stumble here or whatever, stutter around. This can really be now a tough experience for myself. Okay, I will start with Severity here. Severity is top there. I think the first action she will do, she will use her Tonfa. So this is now down to 1. The Tonfa allows her to kill 1 zombie, so 1 zombie is dead. The next action she will use her Tonfa again, so this zombie is also dead. She still has 3 more actions, so for once she will now search. Here's another zombie, here's another zombie. And here is another zombie. Okay, so we have to place 3 additional zombies on her space. She still has 2 more actions left, so she will use her Tonfa again for 1 zombie, and then she will use her Tonfa 1 more time, and now she's done. Now the zombie turn would take place. Right now there's 1 zombie. Her Tonfa allows her to fend off 1 zombie, so she doesn't take any damage here. And now we would have to discard these cards, and we would move over to Trevor. Trevor would do the same. He would use his shovel here, so for once 1 zombie is down, then he uses his shovel again. Next zombie is down again. He would draw a card again. I really did a very poor job. Oh, sorry, no, this was also a zombie. So again, 3 zombies for poor Trevor here as well. So we will. This is now really a pity. So we will discard this one here. Again, he would have to fight these zombies. So 1 zombie is down. Oops. Then the next zombie is down. And then this is basically it. He can fend off 2 zombies with his shovel here, which is good. So again, he's also not taking any damage here. Then we would move over to Snow. She has her banjo. The banjo is pretty cool. Not sure if you can see it, but it allows you to kill 2 zombies with 1 stroke. So she takes 1 action. 2 zombies are down. Then she will draw 1, 2, 3 cards here. So this is a banjo, another banjo, a katana, and an axe. I think she will go for the katana here, and I think she will replace her current banjo with a new banjo here. So this is now fully repaired again, so she can use it. All the other items, so this will be discarded, their starting item, but the axe will go to the discard pile. She still has 3 more actions to go, I think. 1, 2, yeah. So she will move out. That's 3 now. Then she will move her 4, and then I guess I forgot to give her katana here. She will use her banjo to kill this zombie here, and now it's again the turn of Severity over there. I think Severity, she will use her Tonfa to kill this zombie. This was her first action. Then she will take the axe from the discard pile, so will take a Thorath search action, so she took this from the discard pile, which is fine. Right now she keeps the Tonfa, it doesn't really matter here. She still has 3 more actions to go, 2 more actions, 1 more action, then she will, this is now really a pity. I guess she will use, no, she will use her bare fist, so she takes a wound in order to kill that zombie, and now she's already gone. So it's Trevor here. Trevor will also use his shovel to kill this zombie. Then he will do a quick search. So this is 1 more zombie will come to her, so you see that here. This zombie will be cut, and there's a crowbar and the shovel. I think he will use both of these items here, so this can never be bad. So he has a crowbar and a shovel now. Then he will use his shovel, his new shovel, to kill this zombie here. He still has 2 more actions left, so we move out 1, 2. Here's 1 zombie, so his turn is over, but the zombie doesn't do him any bad because his strongest item here, the shovel, would allow him to fend off 2 zombies without taking any wounds. Let's go back to Snow. I think Snow is still doing good. Snow will move here. There she will use her banjo again to kill this zombie. This is 2 actions, 3 actions. Then she will use her banjo again. That's 4 actions, and then she will move here with her 5th action. Again, she's not taking any wound because with her mighty katana she would be able to fend off 4 zombies. Okay, let's go back to Severity. I think Severity definitely needs some more equipment in order to make it there. So she will move here. And yeah, I think this time we have to do it. So she will use her axe. The axe would theoretically kill 4 zombies, but that's not going to happen. That 2 actions, 3 actions. She will move in here. She will draw 3 cards as quick search. So there's a zombie here, so we will move that. There's a nail gun, and there is a Tonfa, which is awesome. I think she will take both of these items here. So replacing her existing items. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. I think she still has 2 actions left. Hopefully I'm not wrong here. So this is 1 to kill this zombie, and I'm really thinking Do I have? I think I have still an action here. Okay, so let's move over to Trevor. Trevor is accompanied here. He has this shovel, so he can use the shovel to kill this zombie here. This was his first action. Second action, he will move there. Third action, he will kill. Fourth action, he would kill. He would move there, then he would kill again. And this is basically already the turn of Trevor here. And then you see it, we are always coming closer here to the police station. The music is still very dramatic, but I think there's nothing to worry about right now. So we can kill this awful zombie here, just not a problem. So she will use her mighty katana to basically kill this zombie. She would be able to kill 2 of them. Then with her second action she will move here, so she already made it, so she can close the call, basically her turn, and then we would move over to severity 1, 2, 3, and then she would pass, and then Trevor would move 1 and 2, and then the game, the first scenario, already ends. Isn't that nice? And not sure how much time we have been using. Let me check. And I think we still have around 8 minutes left, so I can stop the scenario here. So at least I really think, okay, it's possible to do that solo with 3 heroes, even though it can be pretty tough, especially when you have to tell what you're doing right now. But I hope this should give you a slight, let's say, idea on how this game actually works. So as you can see, our survivors all met here at the police station. They are very happy to see some other survivors, and so we could now move on to the next scenario. The next scenario will be built basically on the same scenario map. There will be 1 additional tile on top of that. This will be your exit location, but this is something I will come to in the next episode. I really hope this helps you to get an understanding on how this game could actually work. I have to admit the first 2 missions are really relatively easy, and also read on Board Game Geek that especially when playing with 5 actions per survivors, this can be a little bit easier. But I know from later scenarios that having more actions is not always a good thing, especially if you are, let's say, surrounded by zombies, you don't have any weapons and you cannot move out. Then really the player order is very important, and this is something that you're not changing throughout the game. So you really have to plan ahead. Even so, if you have 5 actions, it does not mean you can always use these 5 actions here. But as I said, these first 2 game missions are relatively simple, or first one is really simple normally. I think I haven't met anyone who didn't let's say make it the very first time. I have to admit the second scenario we blew up completely basically. I think we were close, but I think we were missing around 30 seconds. But when we repeated then the second prologue missions, then we made it also in around 10 minutes or so. So this is definitely something that is doable. The later missions will definitely bring more and more challenges to the game. The zombie horde grows bigger, there are more zombie cards in the search deck, and also you have to deal with some of these search items here. So this is of course also a good thing, but sometimes it's important to go through the city to find the proper scenario items and stuff like that. I really hope to see you soon in my next episode of Zombie 15. As mentioned, I really will only play the next prologue mission as well, because as of mission 3 things can really be tough when playing alone. So there's a bigger horde, you have more zombies to deal with, there are these search tokens which you have to consider, so it can be really tough to do all these things alone, because really you have only some limited time. I think it would be a good idea to, or if Yellow came up with really a solo mission, maybe with the soundtrack being a little bit more longer. So for example, you would have then 20 minutes when you play alone, maybe allowing to only play maybe with 2 heroes, or even only with 1 of these heroes here. Maybe this is something that might come up, maybe fan-made, I don't know. But definitely this is a cool game. You really get into, let's say, some heavy sweating basically, especially when you play it on a warm day, but definitely most enjoyable game. So hope to see you soon in my next video. Until then, bye bye.